Auto Expo is the largest automotive event in the country, and in our Auto Expo special, we continue to bring in the action from this year's Auto Expo. This looks like a regular M class, but actually it isn't. And the reason why it isn't, I'm going to tell you in a moment. No, it's not Marcus sitting in it who is different, but the car has some features which Marcus is going to share with us today and tell us why this is such a different and a special car. Marcus.
Apart from the normal possibilities of an M-Class to go on heavy off-road tracks, the M-Class here, as it is a guard, is capable to hold bullets, for example, of short guns like a Magnum 44. So it resists on ballistic attacks. This car is also equipped with an optional underground protection, underfloor protection, how we call it, and it's capable to hold grenades. The car is not constructed for being an active armor. It's just a special protected car.
So we're going to take a look there? Right, let's go.
This door of an M-Class, you see in red, the protection steel which is applied to, on this car. So this gives a very clean and very strong armoring for all the parts of the car, inclusively these parts which are not easy to armor, because here you have gaps between the door and the body in white, between the glass and the steel, and here the magic word is overlapping. So a great part of the job is to develop the right overlapping systems so that there is no gap between the armoring shields.
Special materials that you use?
Yes, special materials. So this is ballistic steel, which has ballistic specifications. Maybe you have a look here at the shooting. This steel has been shot with a Magnum 44, with 3 shots of Magnum 44. Just to give you an example, a Magnum 44 is capable to shoot through 8 doors of a car without the bullet getting even slower. We use specially certified security glass in order to protect the occupants from anything which is coming in their way. What happens if somebody shoots into my wheel? And here the magic word is run flat tire. So this tire is capable to run without air pressure, more or less in a speed of 80 kilometers for more than 80 kilometers distance.
Okay, how long does it take if I place an order for this?
It would take you more or less half a year from the order to get the car done and armored by Mercedes.
And how much is it going to cost me?
I can tell you the European price. It is about 55,000 euro above the normal price of the car.
This is one Mercedes you will certainly be able to buy this year, because the company is going to launch it in the second half this year. This is the GLA. This comes from the family of what Mercedes calls the new generation of cars. The A and the B are the first one, and this is an addition, a nice one indeed. It looks beautiful, the styling is all fresh, and this is going to be positioned as a compact SUV, and it will take on the likes of the Audi Q3 and the BMW X1. What I have here with me is the Fiat Linea. The Fiat Linea has been around for quite a while, but what we are getting here is a new look Fiat Linea, which will be launched in the Indian market pretty soon. And what's changed, some part is quite obvious, but there's a lot of addition of the chrome, which we feel will appeal to a lot of Indian buyers. There's a new multi-jet badging here, and even the side view mirrors have changed, and they have integrated turn light signals. And as I walk to the rear of the car, let's see what has changed here. What has changed here is also somewhat obvious. The tail light cluster has changed, and there is a lot of chrome garnishing here. In fact, the rear bumper is new, which means that the car has become slightly longer. Overall, I feel that the Fiat Linea now looks much better and much more stylish than it did before. So it's a change for the better. If you look at the front end of this car and the badging here, which says 320D, you might mistake it for the regular 3-box 320D. But actually it's not, and this becomes very visible when you walk to the rear of the car and you do this. This is actually a hatch, and this is the Gran Turismo 320D. And what you get here is a longer car with more luggage room and more leg space. In terms of the engine, it though remains the same as a regular 320D.
Now here's a concept car with a difference, and the difference is that this concept car could be very soon hitting our streets. Yes, this is the Fiat Aventura. Doesn't she look gorgeous? This car is based on the Fiat Punto platform. What is the big difference? Well, it's aimed at the urban youth, it's aimed at the modern person who likes to live hard and party hard, at least that's what they say. So what is the visual differences? If you look at the front, well, it's got these projected light headlamps, daylight running lights, and a very aggressive front grille, which does indeed give it that off-road chunky kind of a look. Another thing that adds to the chunky look of this particular car is the increased ground clearance. It's about 200 they tell us, and this rides on 16-inch wheels as well. As you can see, there's enough and more gap. It gives it that big, high off-road stance kind of a thing, and all with the side cladding and everything, it does look every bit as aggressive. Now, if you look at the interiors, they will remind you of the Linear a bit, and that's because the steering wheel and the stalks here and everything, they're the same. But what is new is you do get new instrumentation, new kind of font on the multifunction display over here. But what I like most about this particular thing is that the way the new dash has been incorporated, the stereo system, climate control looks familiar. If owning a car with the 4 rings is something that you've always aspired to, here's a bit of good news. Audi has just made it easier for you to join their club. They've showcased the Audi A3 sedan here at the Auto Expo, and this will be the cheapest Audi available in the Indian market when it is launched in the third quarter of 2014. Prices are expected to start from a little above 20 lakh rupees. Audi are calling this car the next big Audi simply because I think they expect to do volume sales with this particular car. The A3 will be available with 2 engine options, a 1.8-litre turbo petrol and a 2-litre diesel unit. Now they've showcased the S-Line variant, which is the fully loaded model with 17-inch wheels, full body kit and a special interior. Now keep in mind that the A3 is smaller than the A4. Once you get inside, the cockpit is nice and snug, feels like a comfortable place to be, and I think the interiors are quite spacious for full-grown adults. Now after hanging around with concept cars, let's get down to something more practical, something like this. Now I know this looks like a concept bike, but actually it is a production model. What is it? It is called the Kuzami, and it's from a company called Terra Motors. And these guys are from Japan, and they specialize in electric vehicles. A little bit more about this bike. This has a 10 kilowatt electric motor that gives it super bike-like acceleration, which means you could easily achieve 0 to 100 in about 3.5 seconds. It's good enough for a top speed of about 160 kilometers per hour. Takes 6 hours to recharge, and each charge lasts you for about 200 kilometers. Now that's quite astonishing for a bike to be giving so much range, so much power, and to sustain that kind of thing. And what about the cost of the battery? If you ever need to replace, well, the battery first of all is good enough for 3,000 times of recharge, which means about 600,000 kilometers, which means you'll probably never exhaust it. But if you need to do, it costs about $800. What about the cost of the bike? Well, when it finally comes here after, getting rid of the tax duties, it's going to be about 8 to 9 lakh rupees. Kind of pricey, yeah, but you could do your bit to save the environment, especially if you have the money. CSK Yosung at the Auto Expo today launched a new bike in the cruiser segment, and it is this, the Akela 250. Looks big, doesn't it? Well, that's what I thought, and they told me, yes, this is a 250cc bike. What is interesting is that it is a 75-degree V-twin. Now, this motor puts out about 26 brake horsepower at about 9,500 RPM, which means that it's a pretty high revving motor. It develops a decent amount of torque of about 21.37 Newton meters at about 7,500 RPM. Cruiser looks, now this bike is not the standard bike, it's been upgraded with floorboards and this windscreen over here and a couple of other things. And you can also put in modified exhaust, which makes it sound even louder. The seating position, well, it's spot on. It's very comfortable to sit on, and yeah, it gives you that every bit of cruiser kind of feel. Nice big white tank, pull back handlebars. The meters themselves, well, they're nicely laid out, pretty analog. All the basic instrumentation and the indicators and everything is here. But you know, apart from the looks, the best part about this bike is its pricing. It's available for only 2,69,000 rupees at showroom Delhi, which I think is soon going to whet the appetites of all those who once set their eyes on it. Now, another vehicle that is catching a lot of eyeballs here at the Auto Expo is this. This is the Agra, and this is a compact SUV concept vehicle that has just been unveiled here at the Auto Expo. Now, what is especially striking about this particular vehicle is not only its looks, but this particular car was designed by the GM Technical Design Center in India itself on a basic clean sheet of paper. So everything that you see around you is a result of the Indian designers. Now, this is a study at the compact SUV segment, which means that, well, it offers good enough high ground clearance, good high visibility and clear visibility, because the A-pillars, as you see, they're not so steeply raked, so I'm sure once you're inside, they don't really interfere with your field of vision as all modern cars do. And of course, the most important is the interior space. Looks pretty generous, it's still a concept, let's hope it makes it to real life soon.
I'm at the Volkswagen stand here, and what I have with me here is still very much a concept car. This is called the Taigun, and Volkswagen is displaying it in the hope that they will get very, very important feedback from the market. They plan to launch it, but as far as they see it, this is not going to be launched in the next year or maybe a year and a half before we actually get to see it on the Indian roads.
Well, this we thought is one of the very strongly emerging segment, compact space. We thought this is a good opportunity for us to showcase this and gauge the response and then try and work on this. It's too early. It's in a concept stage. I think by the time you try and productionize it, it will take some time.
Why this vehicle is so important even at a concept stage is because of its compact dimensions. When it goes into production eventually, what we will get is a compact 4-seater SUV, and hopefully with a fuel-efficient engine and a high ground clearance. And this is what's going to make this vehicle an ideal one for Indian conditions and Indian consumers.
Bajaj also showcased the U-Car, a four-wheeler concept designed for the congested city traffic conditions. The concept features vertically opening doors and is powered by a liquid-cooled triple-spark fuel-injected engine, and it also has an air conditioner and an automatic gearbox. The model was showcased to gauge the public reaction, with plans for production model to be decided on the general feedback.
Mercedes also displayed the beautiful CLA 45 AMG. Positioned as a sedan below the C-Class, the CLA will offer the build quality, finish and the striking looks of brand Mercedes, while providing a very viable alternative to customers to drive a compact sedan. However, the car will not be launched soon, but what will be launched sometimes this year is the performance version of the CLA wearing the AMG badge.
Triumph Motorcycles launched the Daytona 675 for the Indian market at the Auto Expo 2014. The Daytona 675 is in the super sports class and is powered by a 3-cylinder 675cc engine which generates 131 PS of power at 12,500 RPM. The bike is priced at Rs 10.15 lakhs ex-showroom Delhi and now takes the total number of motorcycles available for Triumph in India to 11. These brightly painted cars at the Bajaj stall did their bit and attracted a lot of eyeballs with their striking skin. Christopher Hogan, an Australian artist, was commissioned by Bajaj to conceptualize, design and hand paint 5 Bajaj RE60 vehicles. Now to come up with the designs, Hogan's research led him to narrow down on the 5 national icons that would be visually suitable to represent the culture of India. The tiger, lotus, mango, peacock and banyan tree were the themes finalized by him, and the end results are truly unique works of art.